YouTube, what it do? It's your boy Reggie with the light. Welcome to another episode of Narrowminded, where I come to give you inspiration, motivation, encouragement, empowerment, and a whole bunch of light. And I also talk about topics and subjects that are important to me and that I find fascinating. And today's topic is going to be about slavery versus the Holocaust. Which one was the worst crime towards humanity or against humanity? Slavery or the Holocaust? Which one was the biggest crime against humanity? And the reason why I want to talk about this is because the Holocaust is so protected in our culture today. The European Jews that went through the Holocaust between 1941 and 1945 are the most protected people in the world. You cannot say anything about these European Jews. You cannot mention anything about the Holocaust, Hitler, anything about Jews or anti-Semitic. You pretty much X yourself out, especially if you want to be some type of entertainer, if you want to be wealthy, if you want to, make it in the world or whatever. It's like the number one rule: don't say anything about Jews, right? The European Jews that went through the Holocaust, you can't say anything about them, right? And also in American culture, it seems like the Holocaust is seen as the worst thing that has happened in human society. It's like they make that seem like it's the worst thing that has ever happened. And the United States itself had to intervene in the killing of European Jews, right? They had to intervene because this was just so horrible. This was so terrible. Nothing like this has ever been done before. Hitler had to be stopped. He was worse than the original 13 colony settlers in America. He was worse than Great Britain and everybody in all the countries and continents that was involved in the transatlantic slave trade. Hitler was worse than hanging people from trees. Hitler was worse than buck breaking people. Hitler was worse than raping an entire race, ripping them from their native land, bringing them to a foreign land, treating them like animals, killing them, throwing them overboard, but for some reason Hitler is the public enemy number one. How in the hell did Hitler become public enemy number one? And how in the hell is the Holocaust seen as the worst crime against humanity in world history? Listen to the time span the Holocaust lasted. It lasted between 1941 and 1945. Now listen to, and that, what's that? 1941, 42, 43, 44, 45. 4 years. It lasted 4 years. Slavery lasted from 1500 to 1900. We're not talking about Jim Crow and everything, mass incarceration, systematic racism, police brutality. We're not talking about, not having civil rights, not being seen as a human, seen as 3/4 human. We're not talking about that part of America that, black people had to go through. I'm talking about actual slavery from 1500 to 1900. It was 400 years of trading human beings as if they're property and doing whatever you will with these human beings. 400 years, right? So they say it's an estimated 6 million Jews that died in the Holocaust, right? And that's in 4 years. So if there's 6 million Jews that died in the Holocaust in 4 years, how many, they don't even have the number of how many Africans died during this transatlantic slave trade. They don't even, and they make this Holocaust seem like the biggest crime against humanity. And it was one man. It was one man, Hitler. But slavery involved many people, many countries, many leaders, many continents, many worlds. A lot of European countries got fat and wealthy off of slavery. So I'm just trying to figure out how they have how can America go into another country and be a police and a hero for the entire world when America is responsible for the worst crime against humanity, and they have not did anything to pay that forward or pay back the descendants of slaves. They haven't done anything to pay back what they did. They have not rehabilitated anything. They have not paid back what they owed at all. The Jews got paid. Hitler in Germany. Well, Germany was forced to pay those European Jews a whole bunch of money. Not only Germany, but whoever was allied with Germany had to pay the Jews a whole bunch of money. The European Jews ended up getting a land that wasn't even theirs handed to them. And that's why this whole war is going on in Israel right now, because of this situation. Because these European Jews came into the land of someone else, and they were given someone else's land, and the natives that inhabited that land was forced out. So Hitler was responsible for the genocide of the European Jews. Great Britain, King James, the rulers of these European countries, the original 13 colonies, Christopher Columbus, they were responsible for the genocide of many people, not just European Jews, but Native Americans and Latino and the people that was living in South America, in North America. So not only did they have genocide, not only did Great Britain and the people that was involved in the transatlantic slave trade, not only did they, it wasn't just genocide against Africans, and it was genocide against the Native Americans that was already in America. So that's, come on now. But for some reason, this Holocaust holds so much weight. And these European Jews that run the world, that runs everything, that, has, pretty much control over the entire world, have money and real estate. They're wealthy. They're filthy rich. So they were paid back. They were rehabilitated, or it was attempted to rehabilitate them. They attempted to rehabilitate them. Only thing we got was mass incarceration, low income housing, terrible education, just come on, man. Police brutality, mass incarceration, like the list goes on. The list goes on, and in 400 years, from 1500 to 1900. That's not to mention what happened from 1900 up until now. I mean, George Floyd, like they're still killing us in the street like dogs. So nothing has really changed. It's just a different game. Instead of slavery, now it's mass incarceration. Lock them up for smoking weed. Give them more time for crack than cocaine. Even though we don't have any boats to get the cocaine in the United States, how the hell did the cocaine get in the hood? How? We don't have boats to go get the cocaine. We can't go get the cocaine from the Philippines and other places around the world. So how in the hell did cocaine end up in the hood? And how the hell did crack all of a sudden get invented? But anyway, man, I digress. And I don't, I'm a human being, so the Holocaust and slavery was both terrible crimes against humanity. But as being a black man in America, I'd be damned if I sit here and act like the Holocaust was a greater crime against humanity than slavery. In the United States of America and all the other entities that was involved in this transatlantic slave trade that has pretty much have millions and millions of people confused, not knowing who they are, where they come from, their native land, their native tongue, nothing. Their spirituality, nothing. They out here confused. They grasping onto everybody else's culture because they don't even have, pretty much, it's a whole new race that was invented off of the transatlantic slave trade. You have your Africans, then you have your African Americans who pretty much almost don't have no ties back to Africans or wherever they might originally came from. So, I mean, come on, and no one has paid for this. Nobody has paid for the damage that they've caused. But for some reason, y'all want to keep talking about the Holocaust and Jews this and Jews that and protect Jews this and protect Jews that. And the Jews is running everything. The Jews is running the YouTube. The Jews is running the World Health Organization. I don't know. These are my opinions, I'm sure. But listen, we've been bamboozled. We've been hoodwinked. We've been had, goddammit. We've been had, and I'd be damned if I continue to sing this song about the Holocaust when no Jews is speaking up for slavery and the descendants of slavery, who is still to this day mentally, physically, and emotionally suffering from post-traumatic slave disorder. So it is what it is, man. I just wanted to make that quick little video. Which one is, which one is the worst crime against humanity? Is it the Holocaust, or is it 4 years of the Holocaust or 400 years of slavery? I don't know. Y'all tell me. But anyway, it's your boy Reggie with the light, where I come to give you inspiration, motivation, encouragement, empowerment, and a whole bunch of light. If you watch this episode of Narrowminded, I appreciate you. For real though. And I'm out.